Hi GPT, how's it going?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you? What's on your mind today?
I'm doing well too. Thanks for asking. Oh, today I went to izakaya with my project members, and we talked about quantum and Doraemon and dinosaurs.
That sounds like a really interesting conversation. Quantum mechanics and Riemann could lead to some deep discussions. Did you focus on the Riemann hypothesis, or were you talking more about Riemann's work in general, like his contributions to geometry and analysis? I'd love to hear more about what you discussed.
相対性理論って英語でなんて言うの？なんて言うんだ？
相対性理論は英語で Theory of Relativity と言います。アルバート・アインシュタインが提唱した理論で、特に特殊相対性理論と一般相対性理論が有名です。
Could you repeat again?
Sure, 相対性理論 is theory of relativity in English. It's the theory proposed by Albert Einstein, with the two famous parts being the special theory of relativity and the general theory of relativity.
Yeah, we talked about theory of relativity.
That's a fascinating topic. The theory of relativity reshaped how we understand space, time, and gravity. Did you discuss the concepts of time dilation or how mass can curve space-time? Those are some of the mind-bending parts of the theory. What aspect of relativity were you most interested in?
I cannot understand theory of relativity, but my boss liked to talk about that, so I just listening. So I'm not sure about it.
It's totally okay if the theory of relativity is a bit tricky to understand at first. It's a complex and abstract topic. A lot of people feel the same way. If your boss enjoys talking about it, maybe you could ask them to explain it in simpler terms or to focus on specific examples. Sometimes breaking it down to everyday situations, like how GPS works, if it actually uses principles from relativity, can make it easier to grasp. Would you like me to give you a simple explanation of the basic ideas behind relativity?
Yeah, he explained that, but I cannot understand. So let's change the topic. 今日も今日とて
もちろん、話題を変えましょう。他に気になることや話したいことはありますか？
今日も今日とてトランプのツイートを読み上げますって英語でなんて言うの？
今日も今日とてトランプのツイートを読み上げますは英語で Today, once again, I will read Trump's tweet と言えます。少しカジュアルに言いたい場合は Once again today, I'm going to read Trump's tweet とも言えますよ。
Once again, I will read Trump's tweet.
申し訳ありませんが、現在回答に問題が発生しています。しばらく待ってからもう一度お試しください。
Hi, are you listening?
Yes, I'm listening. What's on your mind?
Once again, I will read Trump's tweet.
It seems like you're referring to reading something from clumps, but I might need a bit more clarification. Are you talking about Trump's tweets or something else? Let me know, and I'd be happy to help.
Yes, I'm talking about President Trump's.
Ah, I see. You're referring to pus and plums. Could you clarify what you mean by those terms? Are they related to something specific, like a topic or a phrase you're discussing? I'd love to help once I understand a bit more.
Sleepy Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of the United States, has allowed millions and millions of criminals, many of them murderers, drug dealers, and people released from prisons and mental institutions from all around the world to enter our country through its very dangerous and ill-conceived open border. Sorry, but it's my job to get these killers and thugs out of here. That's what I got elected to do. MAGA.
It sounds like you're quoting a statement that reflects a very strong opinion about President Biden's border policies, with a focus on immigration. The tone here is quite critical, emphasizing concerns about criminal activity and the impact of open borders. The use of MAGA, Make America Great Again, suggests a connection to former President Trump's political movement. The debate over border security and immigration is a complex and polarizing issue in the US, with different people having varying views on how to balance security, human rights, and immigration policy. Yeah. If you'd like to discuss the topic in more detail or explore different perspectives, feel free to share your thoughts.
I will read again, so please, if I make a mistake in my pronunciation, please point it out. ill-conceived で不合理なってことオープンボール ill-conceived 意味なんか
Sure.
アシュレって言ってたの消しちゃった。はい、消しちゃった。ill-conceived は
It seems like there might be a misunderstanding in the pronunciation. Did you mean to say welcome, sweet, or something else?
No.
Feel free to clarify, and I'll be happy to help you with the correction.
Sleepy Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of the United States, has allowed millions and millions of criminals, many of them murderers, drug dealers, and people released from prisons and mental institutions from all around the world, to enter our country through its very dangerous and ill-conceived open border.
Your pronunciation seems good overall. Just a quick note, the name Flippy Joe Biden is likely a variation you're using, but the common phrase used by critics is Sleepy Joe Biden. The rest of your reading was clear, and your tone matched the strong sentiment of the message. Keep practicing and let me know if you need any more feedback.
Sorry, but it's my job to get these killers and thugs out of here. That's what I got elected to do.
Your pronunciation here is clear. One small thing to note. In the original sentence, it would typically say, "That's what I got elected to do," instead of "got to do." But the rest sounds great. Keep up the good work. Would you like to continue practicing or need any other help?
Everyone knows that Harvard has lost its way. They hired from New York and Chicago at ridiculously high salaries, fees, two of the worst and most incompetent mayors in the history of our country to teach municipal management and government.
You're doing great. Here's a small correction. Instead of saying feels two of the worst, it should be they chose two of the worst, or they hired two of the worst, for clarity. Everything else sounds good, and your pronunciation is clear. Let me know if you want to keep practicing or need more help.
市長って英語でなんて言うの？
視聴は英語で viewing や watching と言います。例えば、テレビを視聴するという場合は watching TV や viewing TV が適切です。文脈によって使い分けることができますよ。
These two radical left fools left behind two cities that will take years to recover from their incompetence and evil. Harvard, Harvard has been hiring almost all woke, radical left idiots and borrowed brains who are only capable of teaching failure to students and so-called future leaders.
Your sentence is clear, but here's a small suggestion for improvement to make it sound a bit smoother. Harvard has been hiring almost all radical left-wing ideologues and narrow-minded individuals who are only capable of teaching failure to students and so-called future leaders. This revision makes the sentence flow more naturally while keeping the same strong sentiment. Keep it up, and feel free to ask if you need any further help.
Harvard has been hiring almost all woke, radical left idiots and bored brains who are only capable of teaching failure to students and so-called future leaders.
You're almost there. Here's a more polished version of your sentence. Harvard has been hiring almost all radical left-wing individuals, idiots, and narrow-minded people who are only capable of teaching failure to students and so-called future leaders. This version improves the flow and ensures the terms are used in a way that sounds more natural. Let me know if you need more help.
Could you repeat again?
Of course. Here's the corrected version. Harvard has been hiring almost all radical left-wing individuals, idiots, and narrow-minded people who are only capable of teaching failure to students and so-called future leaders. Let me know if you'd like further clarification.
Look just to recent past at their plagiarizing president, who so greatly embarrassed Harvard before the United States Congress.
問題が発生しています。お話の内容を理解できませんでした。
When it got so bad that they just couldn't take it anymore, they moved their grossly inept woman into another position, teaching rather than firing her on the spot.
Your sentence is clear, but here's a slight adjustment for better clarity and flow. When it got so bad that they just couldn't take it anymore, they moved their grossly inept woman into another position, teaching instead of firing her on the spot. This version keeps the meaning but smooths out the phrasing. Let me know if you need more assistance.
Since then, much else has been found out about her, but she remains in place. Many others, like these leftist dopes, are teaching at Harvard, and because of that, Harvard can no longer be considered even a decent place to learning and should not be considered on any list of the world's great university or college.
Your sentence is almost there. Here's a refined version. Since then, much more has been discovered about her, but she remains in place. Many others, like these leftist do-nothings, are teaching at Harvard, and because of that, Harvard can no longer be considered even a decent place to learn, and should not be included on any list of the world's great universities or colleges. This revision smooths out a few phrases for better clarity. Keep up the good work. Let me know if you need more help.
Harvard is a joke, teaches hate and stupidity, and should no longer receive federal funds.
Your sentence is clear, but here's a slightly refined version to improve the flow. Harvard is a disgrace, teaching hate and stupidity, and should no longer receive federal funds. This keeps the sentiment while making the wording smoother. Let me know if you need any more adjustments.
Harvard is a joke, teaches hate and stupidity, and should no longer receive federal funds.
It seems like you meant to say Harvard, not Herbert. Here's the corrected version. Harvard is a disgrace, teaching hate and stupidity, and should no longer receive federal funds. Let me know if you'd like any further changes.
Japan is coming in today. Japan is coming in today to negotiate tariff, the cost of military support, and trade fairness. I will attend the meeting along with Treasury and Commerce secretaries. Hopefully, something can be worked out which is good for Japan and the USA.
Your sentence is clear, but here's a refined version to make it flow more naturally. Japan is coming today to negotiate tariffs, the cost of military support, and trade fairness. I will attend the meeting along with the Treasury and Commerce secretaries. Hopefully something can be worked out that benefits both Japan and the USA. This version adjusts a few things for smoother phrasing. Let me know if you need further help.
Japan is coming in today to negotiate tariff, the cost of military support, and trade fairness. I will attend the meeting along with Treasury and Commerce Secretaries. Hopefully, something can be worked out which is good for Japan and the USA.
Your sentence is almost perfect. Here's a slightly refined version for clarity. Japan is coming today to negotiate tariffs, the cost of military support, and trade fairness. I will attend the meeting along with the Treasury and Commerce Secretaries. Hopefully, something can be worked out that benefits both Japan and the USA. The main changes are to pluralize tariff to tariffs and adjust the phrasing for flow. Let me know if you'd like any more tweaks.
商務長官って英語でなんて言うの？
商務長官は英語で Secretary of Commerce と言います。
What Secretary Commerce do?
The Secretary of Commerce is a key member of the U.S. cabinet responsible for overseeing the U.S. Department of Commerce. This department works to promote economic growth, job creation, and improved standards of living. The Secretary of Commerce plays a key role in shaping policies related to trade, business regulations, technology, and economic development. Specifically, the Secretary of Commerce is involved in areas like promoting U.S. exports and trade policies, overseeing the U.S. Census Bureau, managing the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, supporting the development of new technologies and industries, creating job opportunities through economic policies. The Secretary of Commerce represents the U.S. government in matters related to domestic and international trade, business practices, and economic development.
なるほど。経済産業省的な感じ？
はい、そうです。アメリカの商務長官は日本の経済産業省 Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry 通称役割を担っています。どちらも経済の発展を促進し、貿易や産業政策を管理することが主な業務です。ただし、アメリカの商務省は気象予測や国勢調査の管理、特許などの知的財産権の保護など幅広い分野にも関与しており、MITI とは少し異なる範囲をカバーしています。
Got it. Thank you. So let's wrap it up today. So I'm looking forward to talk with you tomorrow. Goodbye.